What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a really special guest in the building. Listen, this man here is a singer, a DJ, a songwriter, a TV host, a producer, and part of the legendary TOK. You know who we have in the building today? We have Craigy T in the building today. What's going on, my brother?
Ribbit bomb skang. Oh, go on, Muscle. Big up, everybody. Enough respect. I'm good. All things bright and beautiful.
Just like the lights in your studio there, for sure.
Respect, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Entertainment Report podcast today.
Yeah. Respect, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. All right, let's get into this business here because we have a conversation to talk about here. All right. What part of Jamaica did you grow up in, and what was the first thing that actually attracted you to music?
Wow. Well, I grew up in Kingston, first of all. I grew up in Havendale. Mm-hmm. That's where I was born. That's my family home. Attracted me to music. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're forcing me to do a little bit of introspection here because normally I can give a blanket answer, but like to be attracted to music is a thing that you really have to think about. I know myself playing music for my mother when I was 7, mm-hmm. because my father used to have a song, right? When him and my mother split, he left all of the records at his old home, which is next door to my mother's home, right? Yeah. So I used to go over there and just take the records and carry them over because he never used to play them anymore. So I used to just carry them to my house. So I used to be there and I used to play the LPs and the 45s from them time there. And it's like, I remember doing it to change my mother's mood. Mm-hmm. Every time she was in a bad mood, I would take it upon myself to play something for cheer her up, for give her a vibe. Back then, we had a lot of old time groups, which is why it's my favorite genre. So like I would play Drifters, Temptation, Stylistics, Shy Lights, Manhattans, Whispers, Shalamar, Barkeys, like Rose Rise, like those groups. I would play those things endlessly. And because of that, I always had a love for music. I didn't decide to sing, however, until I was told that I couldn't sing.
Okay, because I did hear you tell me that. I did hear that story before that. I think it was a teacher.
Man.
You give that story there because I have something I want to ask you after you tell me that story.
Yeah, man, a music teacher. So, so at first we used to go to a school. It was just a school around the corner. It was at a house. That's where I started my school, and it was called Hurlingham. It was a primary first, then it became a prep school, but it's still just a backyard school. But I was really, really bright. Mm-hmm. So when my mother went away, she decided to make the sacrifices and send me to the Queen's Prep. So while at Queen's, they used to play violin, was a compulsory instrument. Okay. Right? So I started playing the violin and they had a choir. And like them say, they were doing tryouts for the choir. Prep school, everybody there for the choir, everybody. And I tried out and the teacher told me that I couldn't sing. And I didn't have a place on the choir. I couldn't understand her. I said, but no, you can't. You can't, no. you can't tell me that. Someone just sing. Mm-hmm. So ever since then, back then it was a point of duty to prove her wrong. Yeah. And after that, I mean, it's just a deep love that I have for music. Like, music is therapeutic for me. You know what I mean?
Hear you. And what was the teacher's name?
No, I won't do that.
Okay.
Because it's actually my sister now.
Because that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. I don't want to modify it around. Because me and her are really cool now.
Because that's what I want to ask you. When did you actually circle back and say, I thought I couldn't sing?
Enough tough time, man. Oh gosh, man. She doesn't remember saying that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't remember saying that. But that's why the axe never remember, and I cheer remember. So yeah, I said it to her. I said, remember me? I was the one little boy that wasn't on the choir. She said, Craig, you're joking, because I ended up singing on a choir. It was a professional choir. With her, I was one of the main soloists of that choir, and she was the pianist for that choir, and she didn't remember it at all. She remembered me from school, but she didn't remember saying that at all. We've had bad experiences with choir teachers, you know. Cause when I used to campaign to the music teacher, I campaign the tell us we're wasting our time. T.O.K, though. The full group this time, you know. So we're wasting our time. We'll never amount to anything. And, you know, she used to say, me think some smile can get me through life. And, you know, I always, I don't want to feel like, I don't follow no rules. And I think some smile will just get me off of the hook. And apparently I was right.
You're right there. Wow. Okay. So then how did you guys actually connect as a group TOK? What was that journey like?
It is a friendship, you know. So it's two-tier. So Alex and Flex were best friends from birth. Flex was born in January, Alex was born in February. So it's very close to each other, and they're the same age. So they've known each other all of their lives, and they live beside each other all of their lives, right? And well, not now, but them time. So, and then Alex knew myself and Basie from the Campion Choir. So he and Flex had the group before. It was just a duo, and they decided to incorporate more singers because of a competition that was going on. There was a competition going on, and it was for Warner Brothers at the time. I think Island Jamaica was doing it, but they were working on a joint venture with Warner Brothers, and they had auditions for singers, not specifically groups, but for singers. And before that, them used to sing a barbecue and them thing there, and I try to get girl and all of them thing. But like it was the first step towards serious singing kind of thing, you know. So they wanted to do a song called "If I Ever Fall in Love Again," the Shy song, and I guess they figured they needed more voices, so they started recruiting voices
from there. And then that's what is, because I heard originally TOK had 5 members.
Yeah, we did that one time. Yeah.
Was it for that competition, or the 5th member came after that competition?
Whoa. All right. So that competition, no. We never really named TOK as such yet, you know. That competition, I think it's 6 of us was in the group. But actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Enough of it.
And then from there, so then what happened to the other 1 to 2 members? And then you guys decided to form TOK.
Well, after that, it was such a good vibe that we decided to continue. And you know, high school, so it's really just attention, you know. So, you know, the girl whenever used to look at you before, looking at you a little bit now because she hears say you can sing, and you know, it's a vibe. So we decided that, you know, we can do this thing, we can go to the barbecues, we can do this, do that. And we just started from there, and we just grew from strength to strength. More barbecues we went to, the more recognition we got, and then we started saying, you know, maybe we can get paid for this. We get a 1 stipend for a barbecue, then we decide, say, yo, make we enter Tasties talent contest, and we enter Tasties, and we come forth, and we have a vibes. And we say, all right, make we see if we can record. And then we just kept on pushing, and we always had that thirst for originality. So even though we were singing over the Shy and singing over the Boyz II Men song, then we still wanted to do our own thing. Still wanted to do a little reggae. We still wanted to do some DJ. We're still writing and composing our own harmonic arrangements. We were always doing that from the start. That's one thing. We always had a thirst to be different and original.
Makes sense. And how did you guys even actually come up with the name and then break it down to TOK?
All right, so originally, because it was just Alex and Flex, them used to call themselves Too Cool.
Yeah.
With a K, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a vibe, but high school, so people are poke fun and people used to say all kind of thing and card them and call them too fool, all kind of stuff. And we say, all right, make we say, let's look at ourselves and see what we can offer, And in our head, at the time, it was a touch of class. That's what we were bringing to the table. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we called ourselves at first. And then it was just so long. I was say, all right, how are we going to do this? I was say, all right, let's call ourselves TOK. Once we had TOK, then we decided to play around with the meaning. We've changed it so many times. It was Together on Key, and then Tugs of Kingston, and then all kind of something. We finally settled on Tribe of Kings. Mm-hmm. We finally settled on that, but I mean, it's holy things. From where Tribe bust, still when we bust, still when we bust again, because it ebbs and flows. So music business go, so show business go, So you have to understand that it went bust several times in your career.
Understandable. And what year did you guys actually formulate the name TOK and then started to move to this as a career?
Okay, so the group started in 1992. And the name started soon after. It was a matter of months. Mm-hmm. But the group started in 1992. Our first recording was 1996.
And that one, I think, was with Sly and Robbie.
Yeah, we did a Sly and Robbie. We did do a little bit of recording before, but the first release track was with Sly and Robbie. It was Sly and Robbie built the rhythm, but the producer was called Stephen Gregg. And it was on a rhythm called Popcorn. Mm-hmm. And the label was, Nuff Records. Okay. Nuff Records or Nuff Music Records. Something like that. Nuff. And it was a cover version of Anything For You. That was a song done by 3T. And that is Michael Jackson, Evidem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that. Michael Jackson fan. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
All right. So then now you guys came together in 92, put out the first recording got released in 96. What was the whole plan of the group now? What were you guys looking to do to impact the music business? What do you guys want to do?
Mostly, what you asked me, plan? The high school picked a plan. We don't have no plan. We just want some girl and make some money out. The plan. We just sing and all our vibes and earn little money and feel like star, and there was no plan really. We just knew that we were different, and we thrived in adversity. So we didn't. I remember the first time we auditioned for Sly and Robbie. This is even after them produced them give it a track. And the track come out and everything, we still have to audition for them, And remember sometimes Robbie will walk past me and don't even yell. Like Sly said, Robbie, listen to them youth, you think them ready? Robbie said, make them look like them ready. God, and if them say and this is after we put out a track for them really already, So them time they're going through those things, because we used to do a studio hours. 24, 30 hours easily. Mm-hmm. We used to just wait on a chance to record on a track, So there was really a lot of it was really just to prove that we could, I think that was the main thing in the beginning. We loved it and we wanted to show them that we were serious about it.
That makes sense here. And at this time here, you guys had just finished high school, or you were still in high school at this time as the group is building?
Just finished high school. We just finished fifth form. We were allegedly going to Excelsior Community College doing A levels, so we were enrolled, but we never used to go.
Like life of a musician, it's just so
Yeah.
crazy what you do. So at this time, was any of you guys working to supplement your income, or you're just straight hustling at this time?
Right. So I started working. I think at that point it was 5 members, and Vaughn, who was the 5th member, he was working at the time at JPS. And I was working at Dial Insurance. I used to do accounts at Dial Insurance at the time. This is like 96, 97, I think. I was working at Dial Insurance. So it was just both of us.
Working, okay, and everybody else is hustling, just trying to get it together. So 96, the first song comes out, and you guys are considered like an uptown act. So when you guys went to like downtown now, did you guys have to like prove yourself to say, hey, we're in this too, we could do this?
Yeah, man. Well, you see, the thing is, even though we're uptown still now, we're not really stereotypical uptown. We're not bro. We don't have no pretty hair, quote unquote pretty hair. Because we think my accent pretty still, but you don't know. Yeah. So like so we never, just by looking at us, you couldn't really tell like that. But then we had to prove ourselves because we're so different. So the harmonies and stuff is something that we had to learn how to present to different audiences. Because not every audience I got just innate. So which is why when we used to do the Boys to Men them, that's why when we did that thing for Slide Them and Robbie them, like them not really interested for hear it. Them hear the harmonies and say, yeah, I can harmonize, but so at them time that them I work with all kind of different acts that can harmonize as well. And then when we start the dancehall in harmony, it's like it make everybody ears cock up, like they must say, wait, hold on, what at?
Yeah.
So I think that was the pivoting point, the turning point. Really, that was what kind of set us apart from everything else that was out there.
Okay. All right. First recording comes out 96 here now. I know you guys didn't get your first #1 song until 99. Right. Eagles Cry, Dave Kelly. What was that journey like for those 3 years? Were you guys looking to give up? Were you guys looking to go harder? What was that 3 years before you guys actually hit that hit?
May I tell you a thing when enough people not talk? Music, artists, artists. If you don't feel like you want to give up at least 5 times in your career, you do something wrong. Like every year, you feel that way because it pulls so much from you internally that it's unbelievable. That's why, like, especially during this pandemic thing, like I've been kind of taking it up on myself to call a few of my brethren, and some of them is not even really my brethren, but acquaintances that I have in the music business, just to check up on them because I know how deep the depression can be. It's a serious thing. So I mean, the good thing is that we used to carry ourselves all the time. Like we say, yo, like we used to walk. Like after we come off of the bus and thing, we used to walk to places and we just say, youth, oh, you have #1 and you walk on the road. Oh, where you carry it? Where you carry it? Where your house there? You're not a house. You're not a car. And then the next man would have said, no, but no, for your house. You have a house? Why you don't go buy a house for yourself before you start? Like, they must say, yo, you can't bus. Bus no, man. Oh, you have #1 and you're not bus.
Crazy.
Like, we used to do that to ourselves. So, I mean, we found ways to make light of it. At the time, but it's a serious thing because you tend to get the fame before you start seeing any kind of monetary return. I mean, nowadays, cause like I show some artists some things where you can really tap into to properly exploiting your intellectual property, where you can earn before you really have no fame, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely. So you will have times where you have songs all over the place and that doing well, but you don't start really making the money yet,
Yeah. And that I understand, because in the conversation, I have those questions down there too, So don't
Yeah.
worry. We're going to get to that money and fame, because a lot of people don't understand fame and money are generally not the same thing.
No.
You have a lot of people that you don't know that are billionaires, and you have a lot of people that you see all the time that are dead broke.
Straight.
You know what I mean? Understand. So then now, how did you guys even connect with the great Dave Kelly to get that #1 song in the first place? What was that journey like?
You know, sir, I have to big up Shams, that's a Richard Brownie. He was one of the first people to manage TOK as well. That was really his push, because like back in the day, like Dave Kelly studio, you can't even go in. You would come outside and buzz, a man inside and look for you through the camera and say, "Oh, real." Like we know that after being inside, like I say, "Yo, I would have built that." No, let them be. Come and pretend like when I hear them. Let them stay a little. And you have man now. You have man who come at the gate, and press the buzzer. I stand up over there for 2, 3 hours, and I press buzzer, every 5 minutes for 2, 3 hours, because I feel like maybe nobody not see them. And them I wave in front of the camera, and I move them here, and I take off glasses. Boy, wickedness. But I mean, like, it was really Richard Brownie. Because Richard Brownie is Shams, and Shams was nephew of Danny Brown. He used to work at Main Street, and he used to produce as well, and he used to mix stuff for the rhythm them. He had a connection with Dave Kelly. I don't remember how that connection started. I believe it was through Janet Davidson, who used to manage Dave at the time. She knew Shams, and she connected the two of them, I think. And I believe that because Chico and Goofy and General Degree and those people were Main Street artists, and we were generally hanging around Main Street at the time, because Main Street is close. It's basically right behind my house. Okay. So we used to go to Main Street all the time. So Chico, Goofy, Degree, Red Rat, all of these people knew us and knew that, there was a group out there with a different sound, and we were coming and we wanted it and we were hungry. And then when Sham start managing us now, I guess because they've had so many people around him that were already in contact with us and possibly were mentioning us to him at the time, after a while, him just say, I remember here what them have, And that was just to hear it. That was just to get in. Recording is a different thing. So we used to feel good for just going and say hello. The office, reach on a student, reach office, we say hello, and it's a big deal, right? Recording now, when Brockout come out, right? We did want a rhythm that's so bad. And I remember Colin Hines got that rhythm to play on the radio. Yeah. I think it was a Friday night. And I recorded the juggling. But in that juggling was like a 16 to 30 second, like a 16 bar, a rhythm alone, right? And remember them days, a cassette, Cassette, yeah. So we wrote Eagles Cry to the cassette. So me I try loop it with a cassette so that I play, stop, rewind, stop, play. I can't
believe this.
That's how we write. That's how we wrote Eagles Cry. So like it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and we wrote that just in case we get to sing round him. This is not him saying, go write a song for the radio, not like that.
So at this time, you had actually met him already, or you had not met him yet at this time here?
I don't think we knew.
Yeah.
Cause Dave, I mean, you can tell. Dave not really like new people. I didn't really like camera and things. So you don't really know who. Hold on. We record Eagles Cry. Me record Eagles Cry now. The first cut, because we did it twice. We had to go back and do another part. But me record Eagles Cry. I mean, I know Dave Kelly looking.
What?
Because when Dave sit down in the studio You know, have no light and him have the cap. Yes, sir. So me know him chin look and the cap. You don't know, dear. All right, you see the pandemic thing here where everybody are wearing masks now? Him supposed to comfortable. For real. Me don't know. No, man, look. No, we have a clue, but we don't really, we can't identify, say, oh, and day of that.
Yeah.
So then it's possible that we met him by then, but I can't tell you.
Yeah. So okay, so you guys went in and then you guys actually recorded this song here. Now, was it what we hear? Was that actually what you guys had recorded, or how many times did you guys have to rearrange that song till we hear classic cut right now?
No man, that's it basically. I mean, I had at first we did have a thing. Well, I just the blood in me, yeah, and the me high, get me instead of fire up on the 29 in the clip, ready for that. Like before that, it was some blood in my eye, I'm high, and it was something like that. And he said never like that part. So we had to find a suitable replacement. And then so we did that. So we sung it for him first. Then he said change that. Then we change that. Then we'll come back and record. And then after we recorded, there was we went back to do when Flex to the high part. Yeah, when we went back to do that part after. In a classical music, them call it a descant. That's what them call that. It's ad-libbing, but them call it a descant ad-libbing. So we had to go back and record that part.
So you guys were actually one of the last people to get on the Brucko rhythm, because you said you heard the Brucko on the radio and then you went back and recorded on the rhythm.
Yes, I. So good thing we heard that first night. Because if we never heard that first night, rough. I remember Brucko came out with 2 batches, so we were on the second batch. The second batch with what killer something. I'm not go do them something. You have to ask bass them.
I can't believe my eyes and all of those.
Exactly.
That was okay, because even Killer came out second batch. He wasn't first batch.
Right.
I didn't even realize that until now. Wow. Okay, the song comes out. When do you guys really know that, hey, this song is starting to bubble? When did you start to either, well, you wouldn't really get calls, but in the streets, you started to feel the rumbling of Eagle's Cry?
Whoa, I don't really know, because like we were already getting a little buzz, You know what I mean? Already getting a little buzz around the place. We're still doing shows at Mirage and at Cactus. We were like resident at Cactus. So I always perform at Cactus. And that was a link with Father Earl from them time there, and Ribby from them time there. And then so we would do harmony, we would DJ, and we would do them things from them time there. But like we started focusing on recording, and so we kind of offer the performance scene for a good little while. Because them time every night with their studio, I try get on a rhythm. And I remember, I think it was Baby Sham, it's our killer. I had a Baby Sham, our killer. Like them I say, yo, I want to do man. I don't know how to do the song. I say, what you mean? And the man said, no man, I don't need to go everywhere and just perform the song. And then we start go everywhere. It's like them time they would take word as gospel, Baby Sham, our killer tell you if you do something, ask some questions. Right? So like we just everywhere I sound there. We just grab the mic and just do it. So I remember when we went to, I think it was Saddle to the East, Killer Show, and we run on. Them time they win some big leather jacket and some goggles for our head up and thing like real snow winter. It was crazy. And like, yeah, we just run up on the stage and we just drive. But from here ready, when you're ready, top shotters, I know guy like the place start build up on me. I say, wait, are we this? Yeah, and then after a while they get comfortable up on the stage. You start doing little dynamics and you start telling them to play low, and then you're going to the chorus and then you hear the harmony. And the biggest challenge then was that we had to do all of them things with one mic sometimes.
I knew 100% you were going to say that. 100%.
Yeah, that was a huge challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because them time the artist thing are just one microphone thing. You know, and we had to figure out a way, because we can't tell people, say, yo, we're not going to unless a phone mic, you know.
You didn't reach here yet, boss.
No. So we have to just figure out a way of to make it work, you know. Yeah.
And even so then now you guys have the big #1 song here. Where was the first place that you guys actually flew from Jamaica to go perform?
First place was Turks and Caicos, you know, we had a performance in Turks and Caicos. We, Buccaneer, Sprague Benz, one other artist. I hope you now watch his song Vex. You remember? Somebody else. Yeah, it was all over. I don't think it's put enough Eagles Cry yet.
Okay.
Sure, you know. I'm not sure if we did have that song there yet, you know. I think it was before Eagles Cry, you know. I think so. But that was the first time outside of Jamaica to perform.
That you guys went to perform. Okay, you guys have this big #1 song now. What was your next move now? Having this song, was it you guys had management already, or looking for management? You were looking for image. What was it? The next move now to really solidify having this #1, so then now we become a household name. TOK.
At that point, Shams was managing us. That's how Richard Brown. Big up yourself, Richie. And you know, in our head, we wanted to be household names. We used to say that. You know, we want to make sure that every house in Jamaica know who TOK is. And we were just trying to get more #1s. That was the only thing on our minds. Like, all we wanted to do was another hit. And hit not just comes on either, you know, it take time. Right. So before Eagles Cry, you know, was whoa and them song there. Anytime we get a new girl, she have to face off and the body you have to ride. Whoa. Yes. Heavy metal rhythm. So we didn't knock them, you know. And knock them bam, bam, bam from before. A hardcore lover. Yeah, them song that was before.
Okay.
So like when Eagles Cry dropped, it was like, Bob, see it, yeah? I hate this. Yeah, so like at that time we had several songs on our belt. And I remember, I think it was Flex that had the suggestion, and then me second it quick. Cause like we were the executors, you know. Like you know, bass is always level-headed. Alex very cautious. Me and Flex going. Yeah, we're going. So we decided from early that a strategy of ours was going to be the high school girls. And we made it a point of duty to be at every single high school fete or barbecue or function, everything. Whether even if I just had like a prize giving, we'll go.
Yeah.
Sometimes them don't know say we are coming. We just go. And we made it a point of duty never to charge. Even when them try pay we tell them no. So we use that as an angle to get into every household. And it was from a start. Like I remember we used to have a style where we'd adjust. This is before Eagles Cry, you know, right? We used to have yeah, man, because we are, you know, we not look too bad. We're all right, you know, we're young, you know, the girl I'm like we. So
yeah,
I used to drive. So we used to drive and just go the all girls school them, like in the middle of the school day. In the middle of the school day, we just turn up on the school. Yeah. And we play innocent and say, yo, we're just here to check the principal. I will go straight to the principal too. Straight to the principal's office.
Yeah.
You know, to talk business. We want to make you know that we are available for performances. Just in case you have any, this is a contact number that you can reach us at. But really and truly, we just want the girl to jump out of the classroom and kick over the teacher and kick over the desk. And really and truly, that was the strategy behind it. But we have a neat little way of
you have to walk through the school to get to the principal's office. So when they see these 4 guys coming through the school, everybody's gonna look around. Hey, those guys.
And we did that even after Eagles Cry. And even after Shake Your Bam Bam and Chichi Man come out, after all of them songs that when we hot like fire, we still do that. So even when we make the transition now and like all 4 wheel drive, the whole convoy of black vehicle are coming at the school. So when you see the 4 black car, them sit up on the chrome rims, them drive in and park, and then you see each and we come out of each one and walk in one in unison straight to the principal. It was when I say school have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
School have to stop, and it was a thing. It was a thing. It was a thing.
Big TOK there. All right. So even back to Dave Kelly here with did you guys actually become a member of Madhouse, or you guys were still figuring out your way as in going studio, producer,
Well,
producer?
Remember, that even though we were so close with Madhouse, our home was still Main Street because Richard is still the manager. So and Richard is a brownie. So our home studio was always Main Street.
Okay. So you know what, that would make sense because that's how you guys ended up on the heavy metal rhythm and all of those stuff there.
Right. Exactly. God, that was really the start. And I tell you who else played a very instrumental role in the beginning of TOK was Sky Disco, which is Squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
But their headquarters was right beside Main Street. So that is kind of how we were heard by Main Street, because originally we went there to meet Main Street, and then we decided we got an opportunity to do some dubs for Sky Disco. So how the dub thing used to set up is that it used to be loud. So I never had a soundproof studio like them say after thing where you see people in and no. So everybody I hear the dub them when we do them. So one night we do a dub and we come out and his general degree out there, stand up beside him in plumb a card. Never forget. I like him and say, yo, them bad enough. I like me I say, I degree that to them. It's a big deal. Like, them time that like degree that they say the body, it's validation. You know what I mean? So it was, we were accepted into the Main Street family from early.
From early there. All right, good. And then what was your next big hit that really solidified the name after Eagles Cry?
Wow. After Eagles Cry, I think it's Shake Your Bam Bam, Shake Your Bam Bam and Man a Bad Man. That is the double version on Juice Rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man a Bad Man was We and Killer, and Shake Your Bam Bam was us alone. So
tell me how you guys even got to Killer in the first place, because remember, you guys say I have Eagles Cry. Yeah, that's cool.
No, with them time they we did on a Madhouse enough. So Killer did enough. So he used to just rate with. And then at that point too, we were doing background vocals a lot too. Especially me. Like I used to do a whole heap of background vocals. So when you hear like Degree, Crocus Bag of things, like all of them songs, the Babylon Boy, TOK, the background vocals for Babylon Boy, Baby Sham, Babylon Boy, like we're doing a whole heap of background vocals. And it's like, so them know it. So Killer used to call with the dancehall choir.
Yeah.
And I remember now say before that, a little bit before that, B the man used to have a group when he used to power with ARP. And well, he used to power with a group, ARP, Building Blocks, Sapphire, I think one did me. Only group being used to power.
Mm-hmm.
But then so Killer say, say, I'm me of the real dancehall choir. So we was the I don't know, the Antichrist version for them. I don't know. But yes, it's a style like that. So I just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Since you brought up ARP, I'd swear somewhere I heard that you and ARP, the group, you guys had issues. Real issues.
You do your homework in a muscle. Yeah, man, it was a big deal, man. It was a big deal, actually. Like it was a thing. After we did Eagles Cry, they did a song. Well, they must say, "Oh, you have to left your eagle in the car," and them I ask for the war and I stay far and kind of foolish. And to me, me find them thing that's joking. Like even like alright, so me was kind of the hothead too, but for a purpose. I never saw that as a purpose. So to me, it was fun and games, you know. So, but basically, never like it. He don't like it at all. 'Cause as far as him concerned now, is people are trying to food and he never did that, you know. And then we did another song and then them put out another counteraction and it just rub him the wrong way and like him. It was a big thing outside, right outside of IRFM. Lick down the glass at IRFM. Me go straight through IRFM glass door, hurricane door. Yeah, cause me as an idiot, I try part the fight. And because it's me and Basie did it, I guess David must have feel threatened and him pick up the closest thing and start swing, which it just so happened that they were doing construction there and it was a carpenter saw. So when me grab onto him and move him out of the way and him start swing, afterwards me realize me get cut, but me don't know how me get cut. So me just see the blood, so me lose it. So when them carry him inside, me don't know, I guess me just feel like me don't understand how if I hide somebody behind a glass door. So me just got through it. So I guess that.
Listen, crazy, because I knew I heard that there was an issue with ARP and TOK. I just wanted to get that out, but remember, we're still on this the killer and Tinger, the killer and how you guys actually connected for a Man a Bad Man.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't even remember how I know that he wanted to do a song with us and we wanted to do we wanted to do a song with him a lot more, but he was open to the idea of doing a song with us. And I remember Shams say, yo, we had the girl version first, right? And I think it came out before. No, it never come out before because they came out on the same 45, A and B side.
Got you.
So we had the girl version first, and Sham said, write the bad man version. I'm gonna say the bad man version, and say, yeah, write the bad man version, but write it for killer. I'm gonna say, what? Because them time the bounty killer, I'm an artist. I'm gonna say bounty, I'm an artist. You can't tell me nothing about bounty killer. Bounty, I'm an artist. Right? And the man said, write the part for killer, just change up the words and write it gangster way, and a killer will ask to do it. So we did the song and presented it to Killer and asked him if he would do the first verse instead of us, and he said yes. So that's how it came about. I remember that too, you know. I remember that night then everybody called KFC right down the road, and them left me one nice studio for write a part. But them gone by food. I don't like KFC. We don't know why 5 man need to pack up in that car to go back. But the rest of the group and Shams, everybody got to meet one. What is that?
They left you to sharpen your skills, would definitely work for you in the long run right now. Understand? Yeah, we're gonna get there now. Okay, so even when it came to like flying out now as artists now, because remember, like you would have like say a bounty killer or something like that. He's a one individual, and say the going rate back then, for argument's sake, was $1,000 for a bounty. But then now there's 4 you guys in this group. Is it something where you guys wanted to say, okay, he gets 1,000, so now we want 4,000 cuts, 4 of us, or you guys still had to go with the going rate of 1,000 and split it up?
We could have stick out for that, but I think that we've always been pretty shrewd. That's one thing that kind of, even now it has helped us and it's still helping us to stay afloat and reasonably okay during everything, throughout anything and everything. With still the income still sustain 5-6 families and we're good. So it's like we had to play smart. So we had to sacrifice certain things. We sacrificed the quadrupling of the going rate. We sacrifice first class tickets at times. We sacrifice hotel accommodation, separate hotel accommodations at times. We sacrificed on transportation at times. Like there were several things that we had to do in the beginning to make sure, because back then nobody was even considering booking a group to go anywhere, because that is 4 times the plane tickets, 4 times the accommodation, different level of transportation, different like everything is practically double everything on average. Some things is quadruple, some things is like 1.5. So it's like on average everything was double. So we knew that we had to be pullers in order to continue to stay booked. So in order to be pullers, we had to go out there and show them what we could do. And in order to do that, we had to take a hit in the beginning. So we knew that. The good thing is that we were sharp enough to figure that out from early and make the necessary changes. And big up once again to Shams too, because he was very instrumental in that as well.
Yeah, because that makes sense, because that's one thing I always wondered. I said, okay, we understand in the industry, there's always going rate. Okay, this person is 5,000, this person's 1,000, this person's 10. But now with a group of 4 of us, are we quadrupling our price? Are we taking the same price going rate? What is it we have to do? But what you explained makes a lot of sense. Like, okay, we'll take this price here, but we'll take off the, instead of 4 rooms, we'll take 3 rooms. Instead of a SUV, we'll take a little car and make it work. Instead of first class, we'll go coach and we'll make it work from there.
Yeah, man. We had to do that. There was no other way. Car promoter, I said, yo, I one artist me a book, you know. If I 4 only in one artist, I 4 no problem. Like I one artist me a book. I said, all right.
Yeah.
We kind of had to do that in the beginning with dub plates too, which did really help with too in the beginning. The dub thing did really help because we was the gangster group. So we was the killers. So when you have a bounty killer dub, you the other sound, all right, when a big sound I go up against a medium sound, big sound have 20 killer, right? 20 bounty killer. Medium sound might can't afford 20 bounty killer, but them need to play something special. You understand? So we was that little alternative now. Well, I'm a killer, but what is that? What is that? So like we did have to make a name for ourselves in the dub plate world. That type of whole heap too. So we did that. We did have a kill sound from early.
That makes total sense, because even the dubs, that's what I was wondering too, but you cleared that up right away. So then now, before, I want to know what came first. Did touring come first or getting connected to VP came first? Which one came first?
Whoa, connected to VP, definitely. Touring never really. All right. Everything is levels in them, right? And I want for people to understand that. Like, you have show and you have touring. It's 2 completely different things.
True.
Like a show is a show. Even if you string 10 shows together, just a 10 show. It's not a tour. It's a different level you have to be to tour. Now, we were doing a few shows in New York and West Indian diaspora. So in the New York, the Connecticut, the Maryland, the Florida, not even Atlanta yet. But not them time there. Maybe no. Not them time. So it's like the regular states. We're doing 1 and 2 shows there. Sometimes we get paid, sometimes we don't get paid. Because them show that whenever I really boss yet, so them show that I never know, And VP was a connection that Shams was trying to make from a long time for me. And it just wasn't working. Them just never feel like we could have do an album. It wasn't until we did link Tony Kelly and dropped Chichi Man.
We're gonna talk about that. That's when, okay, so it's almost like that song was a double-edged sword for you guys. That song is the one that made you get signed, but then that's a song that also brought trouble into the camp.
Trouble is a thing. I don't know if me label it as trouble. I see people get trouble off of them same thing there, and we never get nothing like that. To be honest, even though So many things. We'll get into it, I'm sure. But like that song is a song that took 2 to 3 years for Boston. I remember when, because that has Sashi days, you know, that are Lords of Yards, when Tony Kelly had produced for LOY record label.
Okay.
And I remember we used to go to New York, and before it bust, and before we used to go to New York under the LOY label, the song did come out on the label, but they had a crew that they was working with. We weren't really in the crew. There was a crew named Lords of Yard.
Okay.
We weren't really in the crew, but we were around the crew. Right? It was Frank White, Angel was in that crew. Frank White, Angel, a singer named Twice, and another, I don't remember the name of the fourth guy, and there's 4 people. Angel was one of them. And it was Jigo. Name just come to me, you know. I'm gone again. Anyway, so that was a crew. So they were the focus of LOY at the time. No, we used to go and party with them, and the song used to get a nice little forward, but like it never really moved. And I remember we got an opportunity to go to New York to perform, and all we did take a box of 45, because them they are 45. So all we take a box of 45 and we make up our mind. So when we go to New York, we are get everybody a record. We are gonna find every sound man and get everybody a record. But push the song.
Yeah.
Now, you have people who used to give about the record, you know, and say, yo, what fuck? Like they must say, yeah, they must say, yo, this naga boss, this naga boss, and give about. Now imagine how it feel for somebody. Give back a 45. It's free, you know, charge them for the 45. You just say, yo, hold the record there. Even if them not gonna play it, for just take it as encourage. No, people used to give back the 45 and say, yo, nah, make it too. And this not sound good. Years, when I say years, you know, years. And then it just start pick up in the streets. It just start pick up in the streets at Jamaica. Little by little. And Tony say, yo, the song move, you know. And I say, yo, that's how I move. And before you know it, it was like, yo, we go where? We left for the 3 show somewhere. And when we came back, it was a monster. And this is before them even take it for politics, you know, because, you know, it was like campaign song at one point in time for JLP. So before even that, it was a monster.
What?
Yeah, man. It was the campaign. It was, yeah, God, all right. That was like one of Siaga's song. I love that song. Him tell me that personally and say, oh, that song, yeah, bad. I guess kind of the poker vibe. Can't remember say I got music, man. You know? Yeah. So it have that little revival sound, the way how the drums beat, and the way how we chant on it is like that's what a whole heap of people don't realize it's really poker, you know. But like so it talk deeply to the black soul spirit. So that is really why it moved like the way it moved. You know? It was infectious, you know. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that was actually, as you said, JLP or PMP.
Yeah, it was JLP campaign song.
This song has way too many levels for anybody to understand.
Yeah, there was a while when PJ never did like we at all.
Yeah.
It was not until we saw him in Washington, and we said, Mr. Pat is really, you know. I never you were attack. I never said I know.
You know what? Now everything is as clear as day. Now I understand exactly what's happening. That is wild.
Yeah.
Crazy there. So okay, so then this song here brought you to VP. So I guess when the song was bubbling is when VP started to pay attention.
Yeah, we were on their radar, but that was the song that made them understand that, you know, we were a force to be reckoned with, and we were album material and signing material. So that was it.
And when you guys got to VP, did you guys sign for one album, or how many albums? What was the deal? How was the deal structured?
We had, I think in all it was 7 albums. So it was 3. It was a 3-album deal, but you see, they get you with options and what's the word?
First right of refusal?
Yeah. So right. So first option. Yeah. So that is it. So really and truly, it's kind of up to them whether or not you will ever be able to do another album. So that's where we were.
Mm-hmm. And what year did you guys sign with VP officially? No.
Oh, I don't remember. I think it was 2001.
2001.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you're bubbling. Eagles card came up 99. Everything else is bubbling. Chichi Man is out. All of this. Okay. So at this time, there was no real problem with the song at this time here yet.
No, not really. No.
Yeah. Okay. So then you guys are taking off. So from VP, did they set up the tours, or what had happened from there? What was the real? What did VP do for you guys' career?
Well, there is no better bridge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear them talk about crossover this and crossover that, and you hear people talk about VP a vampire this and a vampire that, and there's no better bridge. They had the distribution network in place to get our music to the world, and we needed that, and we knew it. So that's really it. There's nothing more to say. There's really nothing more to say. Like, I mean, it was it. I mean, and because of that, I mean, leverage is everything. Because of that, I mean, it wasn't the greatest contract that was signed with VP. Clearly, we did so many options, but like, it was a means to an end. Would I have done it differently if I knew then what I know now? I'm not so sure, because I might have pushed to renegotiate a little bit harder, but if I did get a pushback, I'd probably let it go, because at the end of the day, that is where those connections needed to be made when they were made. And if you hold a harden, you might not have the leverage to make it at a later date. So is that catch-22? You kind of just have to know what you do, which we kind of did, because we have never started. Like right now, we still own our publishing. We've never signed our publishing away. So, and we knew that. So even though they might get such and such album, you know, and they might get this and they might get that, we still own music, with lyrics.
Smart move.
Yeah, so that helped us a lot.
Yeah. All right. First time in Europe or Japan. Which one came first?
Please on peace. I wonder if my call be sure. I don't remember. I don't remember, you know. I don't remember. I can tell you that the first time we went to Japan, I don't know. I grew up Christian, so I want to say it's like Jesus they come, but like, you know. But I grow that way then. But it was crazy. Ridiculous. Like, them did have to carry, like, we couldn't even come through the airport regularly. Like, they had to carry us to different parts of the airport. And this is Japan. It's not like, say, you know. It was ridiculous, man. Like, we have 2 platinum albums in Japan, you know.
That I knew of one. I didn't know you guys actually had 2.
Yeah, man. We have 2 huge albums. We have songs. We have a song, Guardian Angel was the number 1 ringtone in Japan for, I think, 20 weeks.
What?
And I mean, not number 1 reggae ringtone, number 1 ringtone for like 20 weeks. We have a song that was number 1 in Japan for like 35 weeks. That's the year, basically, the whole year. And it never played at Jamaica. But it was huge. A song called Diggy Winer. Red Rose, Anthony Red Rose produced that song.
Didn't know that.
huge, huge. So like these songs that we had were doing so well over there. So when we went there, because the harmony thing, first of all, they had like Japanese versions of TOK, like 5 of them. Like we were a phenomenon in Japan. By far, easily. It was ridiculous, man. So that's why I have to give thanks and ratings and blessings to all Japanese fans. Because like they really supported TOK from early on. They like the sound of the harmony on the dancehall rhythm. I love it.
It was just so different. It's like nothing that they've heard before, so they really gravitated towards this here.
Yeah.
And when it came to touring, do you remember like how many shows you guys actually did out there?
In Japan?
Probably the first one.
The first tour was like about 5 shows. I don't think it was that much. It was 5 cities, I should say. I mean, after that, we've done extensive tours in Japan, up to like 15 cities right around Japan. And we've toured. We've done Africa tours. We've toured Europe extensively. We do 29 shows in 31 days in Europe once.
That's only 2 days of rest.
Or the other way. No, I think it's the other way. 31 shows in 29 days.
That's even worse. Because
yeah, it was crazy.
That means you had to double up at least 2 shows somewhere.
Yeah, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. And at this time here, now the 4 of you guys are doing your stuff here. Were these band shows or track shows?
Well, we've done both. At first, it was band. When we toured first, it was band. Yeah, we started touring on band first, if I remember correctly. But it was a mix because like it's expensive. Touring is expensive, right? And that's why I say it's levels, because the touring is tour managers that set a budget. So they book several shows and then they pool the money that they make in order to satisfy and take care of the expenses. So you understand once you do accounts, you understand the income and the expenditure and how it has to be allocated, and funds have to be allocated in order to come out with a profit. So we did the festivals with bands, and we did a lot of the club shows with tracks in the beginning.
That makes a lot of sense here. So then now you guys are really coming into yourself now. You, BC, Alex, and Flex. What was each individual member's role at this time, even whether they were official roles or unofficial roles?
At this point, we're all right. So BC and I were really the negotiators from early out. Flex was the contact maker. Flex used to kind of have no fear, so he used to just step out and just make the connections with whoever, and we would then negotiate as far as because by then I think we were out of the management situation with Shams by then, so it was kind of we managing ourselves.
Okay.
So I used to book for TOK. We all used to manage TOK at some point in time. We had no leader, so it was everybody kind of doing different roles at different times. As far as musical structure concerned, like BC is the low pitch DJ, of course, me is the higher pitch DJ. Me used to do a whole heap of ad lib and make a whole heap of noise. All kind of stuff. Everybody all kind of something.
Yeah.
And so Flex. Okay, so Alex is the higher pitch singer, but when it comes to falsetto and those high pitch descant parts that I always talk about, is Flex used to do them.
Okay.
So yeah, that was it. We didn't really have a lead. Everybody kind of had their own lane, and we just stayed in it.
Got you. And at this time here, this is still early TOK. Did that not having a real structure per se where you have external managers and stuff like, did that put a strain on the actual group itself because we have to come off stage and deal with all this business, or were you guys still fine with that? There was no real trouble in the camp at this time here?
Oh man, we don't really deal with them kind of business because we still employed road managers and stuff like that, and band managers and stuff like that. We still understood that there needed to be some kind of structure, and it needed to free us up to be as creative as possible. So those things were still taken care of. However, it was stressful, of course, to know that, especially if shows falling through, because you don't know, every now and then you have somebody, you have some promoter who say, yo, John was starting getting about make the money, you know. And so you mean, I'm gonna look for the people, I'm gonna get about the money. And then when it comes to the point where you're wholehearted now, because you have sometimes where we just make up a mind and say, yo, we're not left the hotel until we get paid. Just this up. And then time they have enough bad man promoter. You know? But well, I mean, I don't know. Me just always, although he's an uptown youth and he's a stubborn ass. If me say we not go, we're not going. Like you could have bad little more. We're going to fight. We might lose, but yeah, get a lick. So most time them just not bother with me. So you know we hold our own. You know we definitely held our own.
Yeah, that was a good time there. And all right. And at this time here now, you guys' debut album had come out already, My Crew, My Dogs?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Okay. And that had definitely solidified you guys 100%.
Yeah. My Crew, My Dogs, and My Crew, My Dogs dropped. It was a huge deal. Because we did that album to show people who we were. So a whole heap of original stuff on that album. We and Shams in the studio work on some things to say, yo, we this, you know. So when we dropped that album, New York was like a playground. New York was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, we're whole own beside Puffy them and Mace them, and like it was crazy. Like them time that we couldn't go mall. Like it was a thing for artists. Like every time they touch down, every time them time the VP in a Queen, so them used to put you up in a hotel at Queen. So as you land, so you know the hotel right there, so you just go to the hotel, drop off everything, and you're gone a mall, go and spend some money on hype, and you know it was a bossy thing. There was a point where we couldn't go. There was a point where police would have to take we out of the mall because we couldn't leave. The girl them make up their mind, say, you know, we can't left. You know, so when we had autograph signings at the mall and thing, it was ridiculous. Like there had to be like extra security, and it was crazy. Crazy.
I didn't know it was this crazy. I remember earlier on in the conversation, we spoke about fame. So then now you guys are uber famous. But was the money actually rolling in at this time, or you're setting yourself up for the money to come in later?
Most of money is the next thing we're going on stages to, you know. I mean, you have big money and you have a little bit of money. Sometimes when you're little bit of money look like big money, you know.
Yeah,
them time they were, we're rich, but were we really rich? You know what I mean? Like looking, because you know, I tell people all the time, like I believe that I make more money now than then, but maybe because I know what to do with it. You know what I mean? And money is an illusion, you know. Money don't have power, you know. It's respect of power. You know what I mean? So if you have respect, money is not necessary. You know, but them time there, it kind of bring like respect. If you know what I mean, like them go hand in hand still, but you know, it's a thing. So like at that time, we have a vehicle and thing like, you know, them thing there, but like I don't remember when we did, so them time they know like 20 or 3. Like when we change our car them now, so we move from the 4 black car now, everybody get BMW and Benz and them thing, you know. It was like it's a different level, you know, because my brother cussed me off the other day and said I'm kind of hard on my sons. Cause like big son is like 18 now, right? So like now pressure him. Call like me, I say, boy, you're a man. You're not a boy again, you're a man now. So certain little things if you do. Me not do it for you. I'm in a business. Your mother could have off and puff from now till thy kingdom come. Me not do it. Right? You fear do it. You know? So my brother kind of rough me up the other day. Kind of say, yo, you're unfair because you can't use yourself. Because like I bought my first apartment at 21. And like I have been into real estate and properties ever since then. Like at 25, me I push my own everything. I put my own everything. Big Benz I drive and this, that. It was crazy. And like him, I said, you can't really use that to measure the youths.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree.
Because I guess at this time here, you were an established artist by 21.
Not really. I just didn't have sense. So, all right. Let me tell you what. All right. Hopefully, because sometimes you have to get to a joke and all our vibes so people really stay interested. I hope people are interested. Because the thing is, a lot of people are afraid because of their own perception of themselves. Because them feel like them can't afford A and B. Them don't even try. I remember when I bought my first Mercedes, when I bought that car,
mm-hmm.
I was looking for a Honda Accord.
Mm-hmm.
And see a Honda Accord, I like it. I'm going at the used car, like I'm ask them how much is the Honda Accord, and I tell me how much it is. I'm not saying, but it's a Honda Accord. That sounds weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not argue with them. And I say, all right, cool, it's nice. Test drive it. Drive nice, much nicer than the car I had before. I'm gonna say, how am I know it drive nice for true? Let me put it up against something more really supposed to drive nice.
Mm-hmm.
Them time I was a BMW man, so I got a test drive a 3 Series at the time. I like it, have a vibe. I might drive past the Mercedes dealership. I'm gonna say, why not? Them are gonna give me the drive. Let me just take the drive.
Yeah.
But now I plan to buy the car, but I'm gonna take the drive. I don't know what happened. Unless we like it. So I'm gonna take the drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna start asking about it. And when them start telling me how much feet, I say, but it's within reach. It's within reach. Because how it go with dealerships at the time
mm-hmm.
is payments at different times. So it's not lease the car, or it's not a payment plan, but you pay to reserve the car, and then the order go to Germany, and then they make it, because it was made to my specification. So the order go to Germany, and then they make the car. Once the car make, you pay for reserve it, to make the order. Then you have to pay a certain amount for them to make it. Then once they make it, you have to pay to ship it. Then once it's shipped, you have to pay for clear. I mean, I watch how my income are coming. I mean, I say, but every one of them step them, you can reach them step there. It's not like they must say pay this and get the car tomorrow. It's steps, because my order it custom then, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was a brand new zero upon everything. When I drive a car, and I mean, I said, look at this. I'm gonna go for by the second Honda car. It's just for break out of that cage that you cannot have that, or you don't deserve that. Is a thing, Is a switch where you have to click. So me learned that from, well, as I said, the only reason why I really start singing serious is because somebody tells me I can't sing. Me not conform to boxes what people give me. Me just not do that.
That makes total sense there. Super random question. When is your birthday? What sign are you?
Oh, I'm a Virgo, but I'm right on the cusp. I'm 21st of September.
21st. So you're between the cusp of Virgo and Libra?
Yeah.
That's why you have so much going on in your mind at any one given time.
I find it okay. So a Virgo's hardest problem is rest. my brain don't sleep, and that is why I've always had a problem freestyling. I have too many things thinking about at the same time. To focus it is super difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will write 10 songs a day, but like to freestyle it, I don't know. I don't catch it. I don't catch it yet.
Wow. I got you. Okay, so then now, when did the problem really start to bubble up with the Bondem song, Chichi Man?
I don't know. I think I don't know, I can't tell when exactly.
Or what was the first indication that, hey, guys, we have a small problem here?
I think it was probably an interview we did in Jamaica. No, when we came back, we heard that there was issues, and we wanted to do an interview, and we did a on-stage interview, I think, at the time, talking about the song, and they were asking us about it, and if we feel if it kill this and that and that and that, and we sidestep it on that interview, to tell the truth, and then they use it in the political campaign. So when they use it in the political campaign, it kind of got a little ugly. It get ugly still, and it was then that it started spilling over to different places and different sectors, So yeah, it was then. I don't remember the year though. Good with those things.
It was that one there. All right, because I remember it almost came out of left field. Like, why you guys even bothering TOK about this? That song was.
Yeah, I mean, and then
it was really weird when it happened.
Yeah, because we're so young too. It wasn't a situation where we were like this militant group where that was against this or this hate group or whatever. It wasn't anything like that. But that's the image that they were painting. I remember there was a publication one time that even referred to us as the new neo-Nazi movement.
What?
And I was like, them time I didn't even know I want him Nazi. They said, what? Yeah, so it was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Another pivotal moment in you guys' career was linking up with I'm going blank now, with super producer from Uptown. Boss, don't kill me now.
Pardon?
Don Corleon.
Don!
Yes.
Don fun, Bennett. Don, I'm a brother, basically. Me and all right now, me and Don still at least once a week with that. We didn't know Don from before, because Don did have a son named Vendetta.
Yes.
So we know Don through sound business from before, dubplate business and thing, and we hear Don just start mash up the place with some heap of rhythm and cartel and Wayne Marshall and Elephant Man, them just have a whole heap of it and them mash up the place. So I say, we check, and him link. I don't remember if it's him link or we link him. I don't remember, but the connection was made, and we started passing through the studio and recording on the rhythms that he had, and yeah, footprints came about. I think Alex came up with the idea, and Flex came up with the words at first, yeah, and it was just history from there. It was crazy.
Listen, I remember when Footprints came out. That was one of the only times that dancehall had went from a hyper mode to where it was more cultural and one drop rhythms running dancehall, where the men were actually making up dances to the drop leaf and stuff. I remember Bogle was dancing to Footprints, like he had a actual dance for this song.
Well, yeah, Screechy to come out them time there. No, my Screechy was for Chichi Man actually. But because we and Bogle had a connection from before too, through LOY, because Bogle was a part of LOY movement too. So it was that whole LOY and the connection with John Shopping in New York. Those two labels were very instrumental in the early part of TOK's career. That's why we were so huge. We had such a strong footing in New York as well, because that's where John Shop was from, and we had a huge footing in LA too. So because of that, we knew Bogle from then. So when we touch any show and Bogle is around, it was ridiculous. It was chaos, because he was so respected as an icon, as a dancing icon, as a fashion icon, as just a personality that people wanted to be like, and and then we were that young edgy group or just, you know, I take the place by storm. It was like, it was a huge deal when both of us were together. So we knew him from way back when. So then after the tragedy with Alex's brother, he was shot and killed in Portmore. And that's kind of weird. That was the catalyst for the spirit that created Footprints. It was the moment that we understood that our music wasn't just words and lyrics and melodies, but they were messages that sometimes people needed to hear in order to get through and get what they need to get done. And so there was a power in that song that was unlike any other. So when we put pen to paper and did that song, unfortunately a little after that, Bogle passed as well. So it was a big deal because we were so close to him. So people automatically put the song together with his remembrance. You know?
Makes sense. And what did that song actually do for you guys' career?
Footprints was phenomenal, man. Footprints. By this time, we were internationally known. By this time, because we were like one of the first artists on 106 and Park, and like BT, VH1, and those things. MTV was like a weekly thing for us at the time. And Footprints came after that. So it was that thing that it was next level. Like I remember that song premiered at number 5 on 106 and Park Countdown. It was ridiculous. And that was, by then we had already been hitting Billboard charts and stuff with like Chichi Man and Shake Your Bam Bam and Money to Burn. That was a huge hit as well. Like, you know, we had already been hitting the Billboard charts with those songs from before. And it's like, so when Footprints came out now, it was just, and it could be understood by everyone. It was one of those songs that came out exactly when it was supposed to come out. And it gave a lot of people the strength that they needed in order to cope with whatever they were going through at the time. And really and truly, like, I can't really, even though it is a great accomplishment, I can't really boast about that song because it was bigger. It was bigger than what we were talking. It's bigger than words. It's bigger than, it was a sentiment that needed to be conveyed, and we were the vessels.
Yeah. Because when you said spirit, you have to remember music is a spiritual thing where it's a spirit jumps in you and tells you what to say. A lot of times you're writing down the words or however you're writing your songs. The words are not really, as you're writing, the words are just coming out. And it's just that spirit told you what to say, or the group what to say at that time there.
Yeah, man. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Crazy. I got a couple more questions in the TOK journey before we get to your journey. Because listen, boss, what you have in your mind is phenomenal. Nothing short of phenomenal. You know what I mean? Okay. So then now, big song is out. When did all of the trouble start in the camp?
You know, to be politically correct. No, not trouble. The camp, you know, remember, you know, set up 4 leaders. So at any given time, you have 4 strong-minded people and strong-willed people, like I said. So a lot of times, many decisions were not made at all.
Okay.
And I say that first because I want to make sure that it is known that we recognize how strong-willed each of us were, and we understood that in order to make this work, we are going to learn how to humble ourselves more time. So we took a stance that unless decisions were unanimous, we just are going to let it go from the beginning. First of all, like money used to split 4 ways no matter what. Yeah. Right? It no matter who write the song, it no matter who sing the song, when the money come for the song, once it's a TOK, it's split 4 ways. And if you want right now, you wanting it, they're going to name TOK, and it no matter. So we knew that. So we were doing that from ever since, all four of us. So, I guess it just reached a point where I'm not sure if it's true. I think we just outgrew each other, and we're just kind of tired. Because remember, said it's a what? This is years of every day, at least 2 hours worth of communication with them, man. That is a lot. I mean, enough man married and not chat to them wives so long.
No.
For real. I mean, it's a serious thing. Like yeah, I think we just kind of get tired of having every decision that you would want to make being hinged on another man vibe or thing. Yeah. So everybody, they kind of just get resistant, So we just stop.
And that, because I know you were the first one to actually bring attention to any of the problems, was when I think it was 2011. You said you stopped recording. You didn't say you were leaving. You said you were stopped recording. And again, as people say, stop recording, oh, he's leaving. And then people right there would misconstrue and think, hey, the group is breaking up. And I think at that point there, I'm not sure, but you could correct me, you might have been the only one to cut your hair at that time there also.
Yeah. So
you look different than everybody else.
All right, so I'm going to show you something now. See, I think the only person I did ever really tell this at the time was Spice. Strangely enough, we were just having a conversation, and I was really sure one and two things. And it was, when I did it, it was perfectly timed. And I was thinking about it for about 6 months before I said that. Because I did that to get out of the VP contract. I can say it now because we're out. Yeah, they just wouldn't let we go. And they wouldn't put out the album then. I'm gonna say, if they're fighting so hard to keep a unit, let's not have a unit for them to keep. So they were resisting our attempts to try and get out of the contract because we wanted to explore other avenues. We wanted to, because there were record labels in Japan that were interested in doing one-off deals with us. And at that time, I was the person negotiating those deals too. And it couldn't work. It couldn't work with them in the picture in the beginning. And I said, let me not leave the pot too sweet for them. So let me just drop a little friction here.
Yeah.
So it don't look like all peaches and cream and all milk and honey. Let me just drop a little pepper, a little scotch bonnet. just drop a little scotch bonnet tonight and see what happens. So what in hindsight, what I wish I did different, because I purposely never really tell the man what I was going to do. I just tell him, say I was going to do something, watch out feet. I say, yo, I'm going to do something in the next 24 hours, watch out.
Got you.
I didn't tell them because I wanted genuine responses. And I should have told them.
Because did that actually now really create a problem that kind of didn't really exist before?
Maybe. I don't know. But it could have. It could have.
Got you. And you cut your hair the same time you had made the announcement, or this came after?
But none of them never related. But they cut my hair a little before. So it's not like, why did they cut my hair? My neck didn't hurt me at night time when I sleep. It wasn't anything. I never know. I never know.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was an action of defiance. It did look like that. I was aware that it looked like that, but you never have nothing to do with that.
It was nothing to do with it. Okay, so then that wasn't planned, but I'm stopped recording with the group. That was planned, especially on your side and everything else then. So then, okay, this is 2011. You guys, so then when did you guys actually leave VP then?
About a year after. Because from then the contract started. The contract was on the what is the word? We started revisiting the contract.
Mhm.
at that point.
Mhm.
And they were now willing
Mhm.
to look at ways that we could dissolve the contract at that point. And it wasn't until there was a company which we did a Japanese album for that ended up buying out the remainder of time from VP so that we could get out of the contract completely.
Mhm.
JVC, we did an album for JVC.
Seeing that too. Okay. This is where it looked like to me personally where the real problem happened now. When Basie decided to do Blue Mountain Reggae Festival, and you were the only one that decided to say, hey, I'm going to help out. Watching the show, it seemed like that was when the real crack really started to happen there.
Oh, politically correct again. Reality TV not real, you know.
I know that.
We just tell the world. If you never know. All right, so we let me tell you, as I said,
Mhm.
a 4 big man
Mhm.
with 4 strong will and strong
Mhm.
person. So we all have friction from a long time before that. We just not carry over there to close our road, you know. So there was friction from before. When Blue Mountain Music Festival came up, as I say, me and Flex are the executioners. When them say go,
Yeah.
we not ask a question. We're gone. We not have no fear. We not have no. All right. Me and Flex are probably the most religious in the group too. Not spiritual.
Big
Like
difference.
it's probably between me and Basie are the most spiritual, I would say.
Mhm.
But you can't really know what I'm gonna feel in my heart still, so you don't know.
Mhm.
But religious at the time, so like we never have we understand how to move our faith. We just go.
Mhm.
So like we don't need a paved road.
Mhm.
We just need a direction. We're gone. We will pave the road. We're good.
Mhm.
So when Basie said, I don't know if like I'm a supporter. Right? I like that. So I like it. I think it's a great idea. And I want to make sure that I do everything possible and in my power to encourage it to come to fruition. So that's all I was thinking. It wasn't like say me was supporting if them money and so it never have nothing to do with that. We just want to see the festival happen because it's a great idea, so let's do it.
Mhm.
I mean, not care. Me not care. Me not care if me have to break the bank and take out my life. Me not care. Let's do it. Like some stay. Like if me decide say me I gonna make a bet, me I bet big.
Let's go. Okay, so then this is we're winding down on the TOK here now. So then since you said that the certain stuff in the reality TV were not so real,
Yeah.
the not recording was not so real. How about Flex leaving the group? Was that real or that was another not so real moment?
All right, so let me tell you a thing now with that.
Mhm.
When Flex said, Flex never really said, man, leave the group neither.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Him said, him going to focus on his solo career.
Okay.
Because the reason, because him, say him have him youth and him notice say him a focus on some things and some man not focus on something, and something like that.
Mhm.
And it was all well and good. You know the funniest thing?
Mhm.
Like, I don't even think the rest of the group know still. But I me let out that post out of the bag too, you know, because I got all of the calls. I got
Yeah.
all of the calls that day, that
Mhm.
night.
Mhm.
And they were like, yo, Flex came to me with a story and I'm wondering if I should run with it or whatever. Because that's what I always say, respect is a hell of a thing. It go further than money, by far.
For sure.
So when people, like the press call me first to see if them should have run the story or not. I'm gonna say, yo, the man is a big man. If he come to you with a story, of course, run the story.
Mhm.
You know, it can't be. Me can't tell you what I feel, you know. Of course. So, but it never gets serious until basic answer. When basis say, oh well, then if you then hold on. Me attack when you say when you say now focus on your what then. If you are focused by your thing, let me focus on my thing too. When it reached that, when basic respond, it was like shit.
We got a problem. We got a problem.
Now it's serious. Yeah.
Well, so you see what a lot of people don't understand, how serious you guys are about your image and the moves that you guys make. A lot of people thought, yeah, you guys are singing songs, thought you guys were playing checkers. But really and truly, you guys were playing chess.
Yeah, a lot of that will go on. Not for that will go on. Like well, as you know, like I'm a Virgo, so I'm very calculated in the things that I do. I'm very calculated in the battles that I choose to have, like things like that. And I think bass is even worse. Like there are times that my head will just chip and things happen. But I think for the most part, so well, you don't even have to dig too deep to figure it out, you know. Like we are the first and only dancehall harmony quartet, and we built, maintained, and sustained a working company that supported upwards of 10 families at any given time for years, and still supporting those families. So no idea what we're doing. It's not whimsical. It's not a fly by night thing. We know we understand some things. You know?
And I'm glad we're having this conversation here. So then now, when you went out on your solo career, did this kind of put you say, okay, you know what? Now I got to step out and go on my own now, since there seems to be some type of issue right now?
No, not really. A friend of mine passed in I don't remember the year. Years. You have to check Grashan for years. Chronologically, I'm the worst. But there was a point in time where a friend of mine died. Right? And he was young and he was an artist. His name is Little Joe.
Yes, I know Little Joe.
Basic put out a rhythm called a Nabbing rhythm. And Little Joe was on that rhythm, right? So was T.O.K. And Taurus, whole heap of people on there.
That's the Shaka Zulu Picnic was on that one there?
Correct.
Big rhythm.
We performed at Wiki Waki with Little Joe. I reached home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I reached home, daylight. About 6 o'clock I reached home. So I left Wiki Waki about 5. Yeah? And I left Little Joe at Wiki Waki, and when I reached home, I get a call that he was at the hospital. And he never left that hospital. And it's like right there, I started wondering what my contribution to the music was. I started feeling the need to put my thoughts on record, and not just the thoughts that fit into TOK. So I felt a need to record more and sing more and write more and DJ more and produce more. I wanted to make sure that if I die, somebody could know who I was as me, not as a part of. So we just start write and sing and DJ and just more, you know. And it was from that then I started just doing my own thing. Like as far as solo is concerned, you know, so I don't even think about it, you know. I just do. So like if like I don't think I went solo I just can't stop singing. So whether people around me or not, I go sing.
Got you. And what was some of the first stuff you started to work on now as Craigy T, not as TOK, as Craigy T?
I did go badness first, and I'm gonna get wicked. I'm gonna do Sunday afternoon with DJ Nico.
Okay.
Gal tune still in, but raw.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that I put out alone. I think I did whole heap of solo songs before that, but them did just set TOK.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a few songs that I had that is me alone, but because I think I have the widest vocal range in the group.
Okay.
Closest would be Alex after. But so I can do everybody part. So I could sing the entire harmonies. So when I did that and it come out and it got sound like TOK anyway, so put TOK on it, because like a lot of times the producer might be my friend. Yeah. And it might not be close to the rest of the group, or maybe the rest of the group just care about her, them just don't want to see me today or see him today or whatever the reason is, and it work out, say I'm me alone to the song, but you can say TOK, money still I got split 4 ways, still put the 4-man name on the record, like it don't really matter to me. And that was done by everybody. It's not like it's me alone. So it's a thing.
No idea. Again, remember, whereas the fans were just listening, enjoying the music, we have no clue what's really going on behind that curtain there.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is why I love to have these conversations where, okay, you know what? You know that song you really loved. This is how the song really came about.
For real.
That's what it is. Okay.
Not for them like the chorus and everything, though, and like you just say, yo, I'm gonna do that song, so put a verse on it. So once one more man put a verse, it's now TOK. So it's more comfortably TOK now. So put it all like that. So a lot of that happened too.
Because I know your pen game when it comes to writing, I know that's where you really do a lot of work.
Yeah, man.
I'm surprised to hear you wrote for Cardi B, Kelly Price, Beanie Bounty. I could see that. Shensia and so man, you gotta tell me how these came about.
Man, have no sense. So as I said, like my music, just is so much come to me at any given time. Like I just can't keep it. I've been in writing sessions for the baby. I don't even know who that. I don't even know who it is. So like I don't know, like, and I don't care. I don't care if it's a big artist. I don't care if it's a little artist. I don't care. Like if I'm a writing mode, I'm just write. Like Timberlake's last single that came out, Basic, is me write it too. Because we're working on a EP for Timberlake right now. Myself and Suku from 121.
Yeah.
Working on an EP for Timberlake right now. So like it's like these things just come to me, and I just do it. I remember when Ramesh called me, and Ramesh said, "Yo, more you do some writing for Shensia," and I was like, "Yeah, sure." The man said, "How much you gonna charge me?" I said, "Ramesh, I don't know." I said, "Ask Taurus." Taurus was with me at the time. I said, "Ask Taurus." Anything Taurus said for pay me, just pay me. Like, I'm not gonna charge you. Like, Ramesh and we come from far. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me how much you want. I don't know. So it's that thing.
And you find it harder to write for a female versus a male, or it really just depends on the mind space you're in at that time there?
Mind space completely. It don't matter. I don't care. It don't matter if it's a girl, if it's a man. It don't matter how for. I write for. It don't matter if it's a young person, if it's an older person. I would just write. And if it fits you, it fits you. If not, it's cool too, Like I'm not saying that I can write for. I think I can write for anybody, but I might not. I can't write anything for anybody at any time. It's have to fit. Music is a thing where connections have to be made. So everything have to kind of connect. If you don't connect, then I just saw, and it's cool. I know nothing personal, and nothing like. I'm one of those people those writers that you can give a rhythm. I'm gonna write a song and give it to you, and you don't like it. I'm gonna just write another one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like the first one that I write, I don't still have it. I still have it. Somebody gonna like it.
Who knows? You just brought up a name where during this conversation, I'm looking and you said, boss, I almost feel like I'm talking to him. Taurus Riley. All right. How did you guys connect? And did anybody ever tell you guys look alike?
Yeah, them tell me that. Them tell me to with that sometimes. Some things say with me and brother.
The glasses, the smile, and
one girl asked me if I'm a father. Taurus is younger than me. Taurus is it's not yeah. So it's weird, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is one of the friendships as well as like outside of TOK, of course. Like in the business that I really cherish too. Taurus and Don, Ramesh. Like is I met Taurus when I was we know Taurus because we meet Taurus a long time. Meet Taurus when Taurus was a DJ.
From those times there. You know what? He let
way back. But
we did an interview last year and he did let out the secret. But again, a lot of people don't know that, but he did tell me that. Yeah.
Right.
You know what? It makes sense because he done that. He DJ some stuff for Danny Brownie.
Hey, Taurus, more than enough of them DJ the way you say out the road. Yeah.
He was there. You guys were all in the same spot at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yep. But for really start link now, it was when I did I gave up cars for Lent, right?
Yeah, actually, that bought a bicycle. Your wife wasn't too happy about.
Yeah, so she was fine. That was just for the reality show. She was fine. So the car thing, like, it's just one of them things that was sometimes as an artist you kind of get caught up in this car wars thing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like it kind of pull your focus and your energy, and you just never see the point. So when I feel like things have too much power over me, I tend to let them go completely. I just don't stay. So I made a decision that I wasn't going to drive for 40 days and 40 nights, and no matter, I just walk everywhere. And then afterwards, halfway through, I buy a bicycle, I'm just ride everywhere that I wouldn't walk. And I one day, Taurus pull up beside me and say, yo, I want to do something like this one day. And I said, then, when you just park and come out, it's not that hard. You know, you're born with foot, right? You have 2 foot. Just come out. I don't know. Like, so what he was speaking to do was the mindset to break free of all of those complexities that we give simple things. Because it's really mental complexities that we add to very simple things, you know. And that's how we really link. And then afterwards, we start training together and all kind of thing. And then we just became really close friends. Like Taurus my brother.
Mm-hmm. No, that's big there. As I said, you guys look alike. And speaking to you, it was a lot of...
Take off the glasses.
It's like, wow, it's crazy. All right. And I know one of your big singles that you were pushing last year, even into this year, is a Jamaican thing.
Yeah.
All right. How did you come up with that there? I even seen the video. I like the video. How did you come up with it?
So it was myself and DJ Buddha. It's a single from both of us, right? He had the track. Mm-hmm. And we did a whole album together and a whole heap of unreleased music that stuff come out. Mm-hmm. But like I was just writing for the track in the studio and I was like, yo, what more I say? What more I talk about? Mm-hmm. And I did the verse first. That sentence, Return of the Black Heart Man, was just stuck in my head and I knew I had to start the song with that. And when I get messages like that, I don't ask a question, I just follow. Mm-hmm. So I did the verse and I had some other little idiot chorus there. Yeah. Buddha came in and he listened to the chorus. He's like, "What the hell is this?" I'm gonna say, "One breathe," and him say, "No man, you want to dance with it a little bit more." I'm gonna say, and him hum something, you know, that was similar. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, "No, if I move this note here, I move this note here, then it can sound so." And I did it, and so there are no effects on my voice or anything, you know. It's okay. Just no, sir. A lot of people think it's a different person to the chorus, but it's just that is the thing what artists sometimes step away from. You see that playfulness that music has. It's something that you have to try and nurture and never lose. Because that is where the magic is. You know?
Makes sense. And then I know right now your newest song for 2020 right now is a song you did with Shaggy and Beanie Man, 12 Days of Christmas. So basically that song should be playing right now in heavy rotation because we're so close to Christmas. How did that come from?
Shaggy called me. Shaggy called me. I was on my way. I was going to TV because I do a live show on TV here in Jamaica. And I was on my way to studio that day. And him called me and him say, yo, DJ, what go on? I said, I go do this. And he said, Shaggy. I said, Shaggy? Which Shaggy? The man said, Craigy, you idiot. What Shaggy you do? Sorry, boss. All right. Oh, go on. And the man say, yo, him have a song. Him doing a Christmas album and there's a song that him think that my voice would suit perfectly. And I was like, okay. And him say, if you're interested, just tell me when, because I have the studio for such and such a amount of days. Tell me which day you can come through and do the song. And I said, Shaggy, if I'm interested, are you kidding me? Like, Shaggy and him, and more than that, like, we have been in the business for so long. All you have to do is say go, and I'll be there. So I'm gonna say, yeah, man, I have TV. I think that was a Tuesday. I have TV Tuesdays and Fridays. I say I have TV Friday. Right after the show, I would just come through. You know, or no, I think it was the next week Tuesday because I wanted to be there at the beginning of the week instead of at the end. I think it was in studio from Sunday to Sunday. So I'm gonna say, all right, we'll just come in the Tuesday and and shut it. And I went there. I loved the chorus, and it just so happens that I could deliver it, and it was rest is history. I think Tony Kelly recommended me to him.
Yeah, because again, that's another thing there. You worked with both brothers, Dave and Tony Kelly. You guys worked with basically every hot producer you could think of, even if they were young at that time and became hot after the fact. It's so crazy. I got two more questions for you before I get you out of here. You brought up your TV stint, TVJ. All right. How did that come around?
All right. You see, some of my stories, they might not be as entertaining because I'm a directed person.
Okay.
So I find, cause even my brother was saying to me the other day again, cause he always put things into perspective for me. So he was talking to me and he must say, yo, I can never understand how you and your income and your opportunities like I find myself placed in situations where opportunities come to me. What I will say is that I am aware enough and my eyes are open enough to see opportunities and I don't itch to seize them. So that is my thing. So I don't miss. All right. So like if we did, and I got a phone call from the general manager of TVJ. She says to me, she said, Craig, what's up? And I'm like, I'm all right. We had a couple of good conversations while I was the resident judge for a talent competition called Rising Stars, right? So I was resident judge for Rising Stars for a while. We left that when I did the reality show series with the rival station. So I had to leave Rising Stars in order to do that. Couldn't be on both of them at the same time. And she said, how do you feel about being back on TV? I'm going to say, I don't know. I've never thought about it. Like TV and something I'm going to see what I think about. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I would do it, I guess. And she said, well, there's a show that we have and I would like you to come in and see if you like it and if you would want to be a part of it. So I went into a couple of screenings. I liked it. It's a new experience. I'm going to say, oh, fuck it. Yeah, I say, oh, sure, I'll do it. So I tested it out. It was weird at first, but I liked it. And I think people appreciate my personality. Because that's what I really enjoy about it, that I have the opportunity to completely be myself in front of people. And a lot of times people see the persona as an artist because they don't get enough time with you to actually know your personality. So they don't really know who you are. I think people see more of who I am on the live show.
Yeah, makes sense. And when does the show come on?
Tuesdays and Fridays at 105 on TVJ.
TVJ.
Or on One Spot Media if you.
All right. And how long has it been going on now?
I think 3 years.
3 years already, eh?
Yeah, well, I've been on it for 1.5 or 2.
I didn't realize it was that long, boss.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Wow. Super last question before I get you out of here.
No problem.
At what point in your career, in TOK's career, did you guys decide to become blood brothers and put the tattoos on each other's hand?
I think I was the first one. I was the first one that did it, because I designed this.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I see it.
You see it, right? Yeah, so it's confusing, but anyways, yeah, and it was just something I used to write on paper, and then when we used to do autographs, I used to put it up, and I was getting a Black Panther on my hand, on my arm, and I decided to get the TOK here, and it was just something that I came up with. And I showed everybody. I said, yo, I did this, and I think it would be cool if everybody had it. But it took a while before everybody caught. Them time the tattoos they kind of new. So it's not everybody that willing for make the step. But I think Basie and Flex got it soon after that. Alex, I think, took the longest because he never want to put any marks on anybody.
Okay.
So he took the longest to do it, but we all felt it and we all liked it, but it was staggered. So we didn't go to one tattoo at the same time.
I thought it might have been one of those drunk nights in New York where, you know what we should do? We should get a tattoo.
You know what? I start to hear about them drunk nights. Them drunk nights, the boy go with a bag. Remember, say we are rock star. So when we have, oh God, man.
Oh, crazy. Before I get you out of here, can I get your line out of Footprints, please?
Oh, boom! One set of footprints in the sun, and you are going to learn at school. You think it should have been two. Remember one thing, me, with a father God have the plan. So when you see one set of footprints, I got that carry you. Say!
Wow. Craigy T, this conversation has been freaking epic. If you see my notes right now, I still got so many more questions, but I'm going to leave that for another time. So many. It's been, and the fact that certain things that you revealed, even the thing that you said you only told Spice and stuff like, trust me, people are going to learn so much about this. When can we see anything new from TOK then?
I don't know. We've been talking about it because we still perform together, Last week we had a dub session. Last week we're still very active, and like business still have to conduct, because people still licensing TOK songs, people still doing that, and it's we control our business, so we still talk on a weekly basis. I know we have a performance in Costa Rica, I think in April.
Okay.
Next, I don't know, new music is a thing we're still talking about, because at the end of the day, that whole TOK movement was magical, So even though we are all very skilled at what we do, so we can come together and do some good songs, But we want to do some songs where when it come out, you're not sure if it's good until it really creep up under your skin. Some of those things that revolutionize. Those are the things that we're interested in. We're interested in if we're doing it, we're going to start another movement with it. It's going to be a big deal.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If they want to check out what you're doing, leave your social media contacts so they could check out what you're doing.
So social media is Craigy_TOK. So it's at Craigy_TOK. And from there, that's my IG and my Twitter. From there is a link there that connects you to all my social media pages. And just kind of stay in touch. I'm more active on Instagram. I'm trying to find a new home still, to be honest with you, because I haven't been getting what I want from Instagram. And I think that I think right now people have a lot of internal needs that they need to feed the right wolves inside them, and sometimes social media will feed the wrong wolves. So you have to be kind of careful what you do.
You seem more like a Twitter person because I know you like words and stuff. I figured you would be a little bit more Twitter or than Instagram.
Let me tell you what, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of private, Some like if you catch me on an interview like this, we will talk. But like me is not a man for like everything when I want to say, I'm gonna take up my phone to say it to 100,000 people. Like me not, all right, I said that. Brother, I love myself, but I'm not into myself. Like.
I got you. You know what it is? You're a public private person where your public persona, Craigy T, that's who you get. But you see the Craig Thompson, that's a totally different person altogether.
For sure. And like publicly, I'm a wholly high energy person, but like privately, I'm very deep. I'm playful, but my thought process is complicated.
You don't have to tell me that twice. Trust me. I learned that. I knew this from before, but I really learned that right here sitting down right now. Craigy T, epic conversation.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much. You know what I mean? And okay, the name came up a couple times. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. I'm going to be speaking to Basie sooner rather than later.
Oh, wicked.
Wicked. Yeah. We were talking last night. We just got to arrange a date and we're good to go.
Oh, great.
Yeah. All right.
That's epic. Him can give the dates.
Yeah. That's why, as I said, I still have a lot of questions, but I said, okay, you know what? It would be kind of repetitive if I turn around and ask the same things. So I broke the questions in half. There's certain things I'm going to ask him that I did not ask. There's going to be one and two similar ones, but there's a lot of stuff that we've never spoke about that I'm going to be speaking to him also. Let me give you an outro and get you out of here because this was crazy, boss. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Ribbit-bang, mad.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.